Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing Sword of Destiny by Andrzej Sapkowski. Hopefully I've said his name right. This is book 2 in the Witcher series, and I think last year I read The Last Wish and I really enjoyed it because I watched the series on Netflix and I enjoyed the series so much. I read the book and I absolutely enjoyed it so much. It is a short story collection, and I was meaning to read the other Witcher books, but it kind of eluded me and got away from me, and I never got time to doing it. But I did this as a buddy read with Sin's book Nook. Now, Sin, how can I explain Sin? She is a very unique individual. She is extremely funny, she's extremely entertaining, and she is pretty much a sweetheart. I couldn't have actually chosen a more appropriate person or booktuber to do a buddy read with for The Witcher. As Sin is a gamer, even though her channel focuses primarily on books, she enjoys playing video games and she enjoys being immersed in the video game culture and world. She hasn't watched the Netflix series, but she has played the video games. But for me, I have watched the Netflix series and I haven't played any of the games. So it was kind of interesting to get her point of view from what she's seen in the video games to me what I've actually seen in the Netflix series. So I am currently rewatching season 1 of The Witcher, and I'm pretty sure it focuses on stories that are both in The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny. But Season 2 focuses on the Blood of Elves. So before I get into this video, let's just go straight over to Sin now, where she'll be telling you guys her experiences and thoughts while reading this book.
Hi there, I am Sin of Sin's Book Nook, and we recently read The Sword of Destiny, the second book in the Witcher series. It was a lot of action, high stakes, weird stuff happened. There was drama and love and romance, dragons, all kinds of stuff. It was a fun read. I think I liked the first one a little better, but I still enjoyed it. And that is The Sword of Destiny. I liked how it's kind of like compartmentalized into like different stories and vignettes that kind of give you a glimpse into like what's going on in Geralt's backstory, in his future, in his past, and in the in-between, and it kind of weaves into like his destiny. And the Sword of Destiny is not an actual sword. It's basically kind of a saying that it seems to be like the Sword of Destiny is a double-edged sword. You know, it's like things can go one way or another. And that is the Sword of Destiny.
Thank you, Sin, and if you want to watch her review for Sword of Destiny, I will have a link down below in the description that will take you right to her video, and also a link to her channel. I would really appreciate it if you would just go over there and watch her video and subscribe to her. She is awesome. So this is going to be a spoiler-free video, and this is just going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this novel. So before I tell you what the stories are all about and my overall thoughts on this book, I just want to clarify about what a Witcher is, because you may be wondering, well, what is a Witcher? A Witcher is a human, I'm pretty sure they were human at one point, that were mutated into I wouldn't say a monster, but they are kind of a hybrid between human and monster. They have had their senses heightened, so they are more faster, they are stronger, their agility is heightened, they're extremely skilled in combat, and they have magical abilities that is actually called the Sign. Now, I'm not entirely sure black and white what the Sign actually is or does, or the rules about what the Sign can actually do and what it can't do. If you know more about the Sign, then please comment down below. But if you look at it at its basic form, it's pretty much using the Force in Star Wars. But of course there is more to it than that. But even though the Witcher can use magic, he is not a sorcerer. In the first book, Geralt, who is the Witcher, is extremely moody and dark, and he just wants to like push everyone away, and he wants to go from town to town, killing all these monsters and getting paid for it. And then when he does this, he moves on to the next thing and tries to survive that way, and he doesn't want to have any friends or companions or whatever. But in this book, he opened up a little bit. He even laughed, he joked around, he had fun. Yes, he was still dark and moody sometimes, but he opened up. And we are still introduced to Dandelion, who is Geralt's best friend. Dandelion is a enigma. He is described as being a poet and an artist. He's always singing songs about Geralt and praising him and what he does. But he loves the company of women. I think he respects women deep down, but he finds it difficult. He's always complimenting every single woman that he encounters about how beautiful and how attractive they are. And he always brings a smile to my face. Every single time that he's in one of these stories, he always cheers me up. And then we have Yennefer, or Yen, which is Geralt's lover. Throughout this book, they are extremely in love with each other, but they both know that even though they are perfect for each other, in the end, they aren't destined to be together. They are so extremely fitting towards each other, and they are a perfect fit for each other, but in a way they aren't. And we are introduced to a new character who I'm pretty sure wasn't in The Last Wish, and that is Ciri. Now, Ciri is in the first season of The Witcher. Ciri is a very unique character. She is a princess who is trying to outrun her destiny. She is very strong-minded, but she knows what she wants, and she and Geralt are drawn towards each other, not in a romantic way, but more of fighting companions and friends. And obviously we have more other characters than that, but they are the main ones. So this book obviously is a short story collection, and it has 6 short stories in it. I'm pretty sure they aren't linear, they aren't set one after the other, but they're just adventures that Geralt has in his life. But this one focuses on dragons, an ice queen, it has mermaids, and yes, this is extremely sexualized, and the sexual tension in this book is incredible. Especially with females. Females in this book are extremely sexualized. Not all of them, but most of them. You see a scene where a woman has a breast out and it's described about what a nipple looks like. And everyone just seems to be extremely filled with sexual tension all the time. I don't know whether this was the intention of the author, but it's not really an off-putting thing. It's not all the time, but it is lingering in the background. Sometimes it's very subtle and sometimes it's really in your face. And we have a story in here where the relationship between Geralt and Yennefer is explored, and about how their personal life and how they feel about each other. And yes, you do have all these stories which have a monster or a obstacle to overcome, but that is really the backbone of the story. The overall purpose of the story is the characters themselves and how they develop and how they grow and how they evolve into, I wouldn't say better people, but different people. And we have a story in here which focuses mostly on Dandelion. It's called A Little Sacrifice, and this includes a character which is a female, and she is a poet like Dandelion. And me and Sim were like saying, well, this would be the perfect person for Dandelion to settle down with. She is very, very no-nonsense type of person, and I think that she would be perfect to actually rein in Dandelion and to make him settle down. And to see Dandelion open up just a little bit and to express his hidden inner feelings towards this person was extremely sweet and endearing to actually read. And the concept of destiny is brought up quite a bit in this book. Last night I was watching episode 4 of season 1, and the concept of destiny was brought up a lot in that episode. And destiny is something that is written. You cannot change it. If something is destined to happen to you, you cannot escape it. You cannot outrun it. You cannot fight it. You've just got to accept it and embrace it. You cannot outrun destiny in this book. And if you do, then chaos will reign and hell will break loose. And because this book is called The Sword of Destiny, destiny isn't an actual sword. It's described as being a double-edged sword. And characters are always asking Geralt what his destiny is and telling him that this is your destiny. This is what you are supposed to do. And Ciri is part of Geralt's destiny. They are supposed to be together. As I said, not in a romantic way. They are supposed to be friends and fighting companions, but not in a romantic type of way like Yennefer is to Geralt. Pretty sure if Ciri got with Geralt, then that she would actually get her ass kicked by Yennefer, but yeah, that is my opinion. And there is a story in here which describes about how witches are made and created, and how a queen kind of encourages Geralt to actually choose a young child to be a witcher and to be made into one. And it's really interesting to see about how this process is actually done. It's not labelled in black and white, but it's described about how not every single individual that is chosen to be a witcher, because people in this world are chosen to be witchers. Not everyone can be a witcher, but you have to be chosen to be one. Everybody that is chosen to be a witcher cannot ultimately become one. They have to do a series of trials, and as far as I can tell, not everyone can pass these trials or do pass these trials. So this is obviously a fantasy book, and after reading The Last Wish, I was wondering, is this grimdark? And I'm going to say this isn't classified as grimdark. Even though it's kind of on the border, it's probably the closest thing that you can get to grimdark without it being grimdark. As far as my definition of grimdark is, and please correct me down below if I'm wrong, because I've only read a handful of grimdark books. But grimdark books, the characters in it aren't black and white. They aren't good or evil. They are just in between. But these characters are good. Yes, they may do evil things and bad things, but at their core, they are good people. And it's really interesting to see how Geralt's morals are taken from book 1 to book 2. And there are certain things that he will refuse to do and cannot do because of his rules and his morals. Like, for example, in the first story, which has a dragon in it, he says that he won't kill a dragon. And he also won't kill any human beings. Even though, let's be honest guys, if you've read any of the Witcher books or watched the series, that not all monsters in this world have horns and a tail and breathe fire and have scales and drink blood and all that type of stuff. So this was a long time coming for me to pick up this book. I'm extremely happy that I did. It was a epic book. And I cannot wait to read the third book, which is Blood of Elves, which I am also doing as a buddy read with Sin. This will be next month, and I'm so excited. So what I rated Sword of Destiny was a 4.5 stars out of 5. The reason why I didn't give it a 5 stars, and I was tempted to, was that it was a short story collection, which is fine, but I just wanted to settle down into one linear storyline. But I do recommend anyone that's starting or wants to start reading The Witcher to actually read The Last Wish and Sword of Destiny, as I strongly believe that it's essential for you to get used to this world and these characters. So that's it guys, that is my review for Sword of Destiny by Andrzej Sapkowski. Let me know, have you read this book? Have you watched the Netflix series? Have you read The Last Wish? Have you read the whole Witcher series? Let me know your opinions on this book and this character or the show. Please let me know what you thought about the Blood of Elves book, which I'm going to be reading next month, so please don't spoil it for me, guys. You can discuss it. You can talk about, oh, this is what new characters are introduced, but try to steer clear away from spoilers. And please do not forget to check out Sin's video and her channel. I'll have it linked down below. Once again, just to echo back what I said at the start of it, I couldn't have chosen a better booktuber to read the Witcher series with. Hopefully me and Sin can read all of these books together, but I'm going to leave that choice up to her. So with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.